Good afternoon, YouTubers. I taking a break from giving you videos because I've been picking, harvesting for about the last 1 or 2 months, and and now there's a little break in the harvest period, and I'm just out here looking things over. This happens to be one of my sweetest white ones. I call it White Swan. Really like that one. Um, but what I wanted to show you today was, first of all, how different varieties can be susceptible to breakdown. This variety is one of about 2 dozen I'm growing and testing, and it's the only one that breaks down at this level. There's an exterior rot issue going on there, and so I just have to come through and break them off. And this one that I'm going to show you now, I just cut off, and you can see there was a little rot in the on the outside of the fruit on one of the bracts, and so I cut it open, and you can see how the rot is gonna enter into the flesh. You can see it entering into the flesh right there. I don't know if you can see the color change that I can detect here, but we'll cut open another one and I'll demonstrate this more. But that rot right there, by the time this fruit colors externally, will have entered into the flesh. Here's the same variety. This is a little bit more classic, where you have maybe some rubbing that occurred. You can see that. Let me see if I can see that to the damage of the fruit here. And then, which is very common in what they call climacteric fruit, you get like a wound response. So this damage here then stimulates the production of ethylene gas, and then the ethylene ripens that portion of the fruit. But dragon fruit have been determined to be non-climacteric. That confuses me a little bit, because non-climacteric fruit, because they don't release this ethylene and don't respond to ethylene as a group, then don't really ripen to ethylene. Unlike bananas that are producing ethylene and avocados that are producing ethylene gas, you enclose them in a paper bag or something, and the gases help to induce ripening. Anyway, let me cut this fruit open. All right, here you can clearly see that the damage is going to break down the flesh by the time the fruit reaches its maturity. So whether it's the rot from that bract that's breaking down and penetrating into the flesh there, or whether it's, no, it doesn't appear to be the rubbing and the scarring there. It's now once again centered from that rot event. So if you were growing this commercially, I suspect you'd have to apply some kind of fungicide. All right, this is the same variety, and it's a beautiful red flesh fruit. This one could be harvested now. Probably be better tomorrow morning, but you know, I harvest that now. Everything intact, the bracts are intact, the fruit is firm. But I just took off another fruit close to this. And here again, we have the same problem where there's just some breakdown. The breakdown now is showing this coloring, what I told you might be otherwise in like a wound response event. But thinking about it, maybe citrus do that. If you wound the citrus peel, then you see some color on the peel. So, okay, I can live with the fact that it's non-climateric. But see, here is the problem. And sometimes the damage occurs internally. I didn't see any on this particular walkthrough, but sometimes what will happen is you'll get internal breakdown, and it'll color like this when it's green from the top. I bet if I look around, I'll find one. If I do, I'll just take a photograph of it and add it. But so the color, this breakdown color starts here, and then what happens is the fruit actually starts to mature like this, and then the two colors merge, and you can't tell. So I'm showing you this video for two main reasons. One, that there's a varietal susceptibility to breakdown, and two, that whenever you see premature coloration like this, or more notably on the top up here, what we call the flower end, the distal end, you need to remove the fruit, because if you allow that fruit to mature to coloration, then you could miss it. You could miss the fact that there was a breakdown, internal breakdown, that caused this response like here, this color response here, and then it merged with the color that the fruit takes on when it's mature, and then what happens is that fruit gets into the mix, and you've got a fruit that's got internal breakdown. But you can avoid a lot of that by determining, first of all, if your varieties is susceptible. There's varieties have like these characteristics, and some of them are susceptible to this kind of breakdown, some of them are susceptible to this, maybe it's a floral rot breakdown. Like one of my varieties, Glow, whenever we're harvesting and we see this damage, we just cut them off or break them off. Wrapping this up, I looked for some of that internal breakdown, the floral end breakdown, didn't see it in this group. This group is susceptible to this kind of rot here. So people will show and ask about, oh, you know, I have this rot, and people will recommend some kind of fungicide, which I don't think there are any registered fungicide for dragon fruit, but I just won't grow this variety anymore. But it does have like some quality fruit, so, which is a little bit later than some of my others, so I just rogue these off. Alright, so looks like I'm back in the video game. We'll talk to you later. Bye.